today?
And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, January 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome on a Wednesday morning. We're glad to have you with us. And as we look out this morning, clear skies, not hardly as cold as it's been the last couple of days. Still about freezing, I think, out there. Well, Bob McDonald's here this morning to talk about Cedar Stone Bank. Bob is President, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you?
Doing great. Great to be with you.
And that overcoat's keeping you warm. You actually pulled it off.
I took it off this morning. Yes, sir. I'll need your help putting it back on.
Oh.
Tough, man. It's tough getting old. Well, good to be with you. I know Helen's listening. Good morning, Helen.
Oh,
Susan's listening. Good morning, Susan. Susan told me to tell you hello.
Hello, Susan. Yeah. We're glad to have you listening, too.
She's tuned in, and great to be with you. I'm not sure what we'll talk about, but I remember last week we talked about economics, and we talked about the stock market and how it had been on a 3 or 4 day run, hit an all-time high last Tuesday when the market closed. And we commented about how there would probably be a correction, and there was last Wednesday. I mean, it fell off pretty good, but it's back up. It's back up over 36,000. So
I noticed a couple that I look at nearly every day are doing really well. They're almost at an all-time high.
Good.
So it's not bad.
Well, as the old man said once, so now you can pay the driveway, right?
Oh, well, no, if I need to do that, I'd come and get a loan from Cedar
Come
Stone.
get a loan. The rates are still low, Coleman. We can talk about that when we wrap things up. But we're off to a good start on the new year. And, of course, we hit some snowy weather last week, and we were closed on Friday. We left early on Thursday. I wanted to get all of our folks home safely, and we were closed on Friday. I want our folks to be safe. But
you didn't have much choice, Bob. It was terrible Friday.
It was. We debated that with our leadership team about what to do on that Thursday and Friday. We opened back up on Saturday, regular hours. Things have started to thaw out by then. But you're right. I mean, it was an easy decision to do that, and folks' safety and health is paramount and is first above all things. And so but what we do when that happened last year, as you remember, we had some snow, and we always make sure that people know. We post signs on our doors. Mm-hmm. We change our voice message on our phones. We put it on our social media sites like our website and Facebook page. So we get the word out early. People know. We remind them that they can do their banking electronically. They can do that. They can call in on telephone banking. They can go do their online banking. And most of our customers know us. You know, they know who their banker is, and they have our cell phone number so they can call. But it did not cause any issues because really most folks stayed home also. Most of our customers stayed home.
What's interest rates going to do this year? We're wondering about that.
Yeah, well, they're going up. I remember back in September when we were beginning our budget season. At the time, there was no interest rate increases projected for 2022. It was all going to be put off into 2023. But that started changing in November and December, and so it would appear that we'll have a rate increase begin the first one in March. That's what the Fed minutes that were just released recently from the December meeting indicate, that most Fed governors are expecting rates to increase it up to 3 times next year, first being March. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're expecting. We're expecting 0.75% increases this year, the first one being March. Coleman, that will not have, the point obviously is to slow down the rate of inflation, to cool the economy off a bit, but it should not have a dramatic impact. We'll see mortgage rates go up. We're already seeing mortgage rates go up, but they're still at all-time lows. We'll see bank loan rates go up, like car loans and our home equity lines of credit. We'll see those go up, our business loans. But Coleman, again, they're still at all-time lows.
Right.
And fortunately for our depositors, we should see deposit rates increase, such as money market accounts and certificates of deposit. So it should not have any impact. If you need to borrow money for a legitimate purpose, you're still going to borrow that money, and so we don't expect that to have any impact on activity.
Well, we got just time to mention that great free checking account you have at Cedarstone.
Yes, sir. We touched on that just a moment ago, and it's a great account. It's the cornerstone of our bank, always has been, always will be. A lot of banks are offering free checking now, not just locally, but across the country. And we feel like we set that trend, Coleman. Right? Yeah.
Well, they've got to have a good one to have one as good as yours.
That's right. But it is free checks, free online banking with bill pay. You can go anywhere in the world and use your Cedarstone ATM card, and it's free. And that's very important. We have a lot of folks. People are starting to travel again, and people are using their ATM card all across the world. And so we enjoy seeing it being. We have a customer, Coleman, who lived in Lebanon and did their banking with us, and he moved to the Philippines. I'm not sure what took him there, but he moved to the Philippines, still lives there. We still hear from him. He still has his checking account with Cedarstone Bank. He still writes checks in the Philippines. He uses his ATM card, and so that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Well, it's not every bank can say that.
That's right.
Well, thanks for your visit today. Always good to see you.
Great to be with you. You got a good program coming up, something very near and dear to me. Has Ron been on here before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great guy, Ron Ford
He's
is.
just waiting to get
He's become a good friend of mine. Of course, Rusty's been a good friend for many years. So I look forward to tuning in. Thanks.
All right, Bob, thanks. See you next time. Bob McDonald, he's President and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're 10 and a half after the hour. Today is the Wednesday of the month that we feature Cumberland University, and we are happy to have Rusty Richardson with us, as always. Rusty, Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs at Cumberland, and good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are you?
Terrific, thanks. Happy New Year. This is my first time in the new year to greet you again.
A lot is going on, and we've got a lot of it to talk about this morning.
Yes, we do. We've got a full plate this morning.
Well, to start out with, a new year, a new semester at Cumberland.
Yes, in fact, the first day of class is next Monday, so the students are starting to file back in. The residence halls are filling up. And the campus is coming back alive after the long winter break. So it's an exciting time, and we're very glad to see the students coming back.
Well, did the 6 inches or so of snow last Thursday and Friday bother you in particular?
No, we knew that was coming, and the powers that be decided to have people work from home on Thursday and Friday, and for once, the weathermen got it right. It came just like they said it would, and we were glad to be off, and like Bob said, keep everyone safe.
Yeah. Well, what are you looking for as the new year comes in here? It's actually a new semester for you, but it's not a new academic year exactly.
Not a new academic year, but as every student knows, the start of every semester is a new, fresh start for them. If they did well last semester, they're happy to be back. If they didn't do well, they're happy to be back to try to improve those GPAs. So, but lots going on campus, and that's why I wanted to bring our special guest today, Dr. Ron Ford. Ron has been at Cumberland now for 2 years, so he's still a relative newbie. Mm-hmm. But want to talk just a little bit about him. He's very modest, so he doesn't talk about himself much. But Ron came to us. He's been a longtime friend of Paul Stum. He comes with a wealth of experience. He got his undergraduate degree at the University of Tennessee, an MBA at Vanderbilt, and a PhD at Case Western Reserve up in Ohio. Ron has 20, 30, 40 years, I'm trying not to date him too much here, of experience both in the public and private sector. He has experience in higher education. He's been on the faculty at UCLA and Pepperdine out in California. So just a tremendously impressive track record, again, both in the public and private sectors. Lots of corporate experience, and we're so glad to have him. And part of what I've asked him to talk about today And there's a saying that says the best way to predict the future is to create it.
Yeah.
Well, he's helping to create that future for Cumberland. Lots of people have been attributed with that quote, including everyone from Peter Drucker to Abraham Lincoln. So we're not exactly sure who said it first, but again, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And so we want to have him talk this morning about how we're creating the future at Cumberland University.
All right, Dr. Ron Ford, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my friend. Great to be with you.
Great to have you here.
And just a comment about Bob McDonald and Cedarstone Bank. Boy, what great friends and great for the community they are. We sure do enjoy our relationship with them.
Well, I couldn't help but notice you went to UT, then you went to Vanderbilt, and there's that athletic rivalry, at least part of the time. Did you ever get involved in that?
I did indeed. In fact, I remember sitting in the chancellor's box at Vanderbilt, watching the UT Vanderbilt football game, feeling very conflicted about when I should cheer and how I should cheer.
We need to go to a break, but before we do, just to kind of whet the appetites for what we're going to be talking about, it seems like it might be just about the best of times for Cumberland right now.
It really is, and in fact, I'll say this. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, and we used to sing when I was a kid, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine," right? Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. Well, that's what I'm here to talk about today.
Okay, we'll do that after we take this break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Starting to get a little bit heavy now, right on schedule. 65 south at Trinity Lane. Still trying to mop up that earlier wreck. 400 Blanca OHB. That's going to be over in Old Hickory. At one point, it got pretty slow in Coffee County on 24 westbound. Up by the Beech Grove exit, it looks like it's starting to thin out a little bit there and coming into Rutherford County out of Coffee County. PensacolaBeach.com is everything you need to book your next trip. Check it out, PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. And if you just turned our way, we're featuring Cumberland University today. Rusty Richardson's with us as always when we talk about Cumberland, and Dr. Ron Ford, special guest this morning, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Professor. So, Professor, take it away.
Oh, thank you. You know, I mentioned this little light of mine. We one of the things I've learned as I came to Cumberland University, of course, I've known Paul forever and been close to Cumberland for a long time, is that it's generally referred to in the community as the best kept secret in Tennessee. And the question is, well, why is it the best kept secret in Tennessee? And what's been happening, is particularly under Paul Stumm's administration since he's been president, is, as you well know, enrollment growth has been through the roof. We've grown some 74% over the last 5 years, when most schools in our market are shrinking or are competing for students. Yet we continue to grow. It's hard to keep that secret very long. And then if you see what's going on our campus in the last year, we've remodeled every single dorm on campus, classrooms on campus, expanding the campus right and left. We're continuing to grow. Well, you can't keep that secret very long. And a study just came out the other day, an independent study on the economic impact of Cumberland University on Wilson County. Over $115 million a year positive economic impact.
Wow.
Cumberland University on Wilson County. That's in the press. You can't keep that a secret, right? Our nursing program with 100% NCLEX pass rate and employment rate for our nursing program, which is growing significantly under Mary Beth Griffith, Dean Griffith's jurisdiction, is so phenomenal. You can't keep that a secret. So as these things are continuing to grow, and of course you know our friend, our provost Bill McKee very well, and what he and our deans are doing on the academic side, launching new programs and new degrees and so forth, is going gangbusters just to offer more contemporary programs and very attractive programs for students on ground and online. What's going to happen to this university over the next 5 years, we just can't keep it a secret anymore. So you're going to hear us talking about our vision for the future and being more public about it. Essentially, we're going to double in size in the next few years, and our physical facilities, our number of faculty, our number of staff, and our number of students are going to grow significantly.
Well, now you have, as we say, for some time seem to have been bursting at the seams. I know Rusty and I have talked about sometimes hard to find a parking place, and I know you've worked on that. But are you going to continue to grow, and is the physical campus going to have to expand as well?
It is, and while we'll make very efficient use of the space that we have, and of course always be very responsible and environmentally and with respect to the historical nature of our buildings. We care a lot about that. Some of our growth is going to come online, and some of it's going to come from the use of the physical space and using it nights and weekends and so forth. But we have a campus master plan. We know right now several buildings that we're going to be building on and around that campus over the next few years, and we're really excited about it.
It's going to be somewhat of a new look then.
We'll continue to maintain, Memorial Hall and the tower will always be the centerpiece of our campus. We'll be consistent with that as we've just done with our new dining hall, and as we look at our new nursing building and other buildings that we plan, new classroom buildings that we plan. We'll stay consistent with the area and the environment and the aesthetic of you'll know you're on a university campus, on the university campus in Wilson County. But certainly we're going to be much bigger.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, as you were saying, when Cumberland's been growing, some others were just trying to stay status quo. You're not sitting still.
We're not sitting still, and good folks like Ron Pavin, whom you know well, not only runs our athletic programs, but also is now in charge of facilities, and so he's got his hands full now as he's planning for all this growth on our campus, and he's doing a terrific job.
You work very closely, I guess, with Dr. Stum, and so you two kind of plot and plan together a lot.
We do, and he and I met. We started working together right out of college 40 years ago, making nuclear weapons for the Department of Defense, and we've been best friends ever since. I think I'm the only friend he has. I don't think he has any other friends besides me, or maybe
you're not his friend.
I'm his close personal friend.
Oh, he is a world-class guy, and we're lucky to have him at Cumberland University.
Well, I was remarking you gave me a copy of your new Phoenix Rising magazine with a picture of the statue of Cordell Hull on the front there, and I was talking about when I did my year of the end summary, how many times I mentioned Cumberland and what all had happened last year, that being one of them, the peace forum and so on. Rusty, I don't think I called your name, but you get with us once a month, so that takes care of you.
That's right.
What else do you want to talk about here as far as building on this foundation that's been established here? I mean, you're not sitting still, and you're having record enrollments. You're planning ahead. It sounds like there's almost no limit to the future here for Cumberland.
Well, we'll self-limit because we want to remain special. We want to be, and we want a high-touch relationship with our students. We feel like that's very, very important. It's what distinguishes us from the big, public universities. We are the public. We're the quality private education at the cost of a public education, right? And that's part of the secret.
Yeah.
I will mention this. One of the reasons why we're able to be so successful, besides Dr. Stum's leadership and good folks like Rusty who've been helping us for so long, so well, is the community involvement in Cumberland University and support. our board chairman, W.P. Bone, whom I know you know well, Ed Powell, Hal Bone, Dr. Robert Carver Bone. You mentioned a Bone, and they're connected with Cumberland University in some way, and we are so grateful for them. But that connection with folks like them and Bob at Cedar Stone, putting their arms around us and the community, lifting us up and being supportive, recognizing candidly the value of a business that is contributing over $100 million to the Wilson County community, and the chance that could double over the next 5 years. It's a good investment for folks to think about investing in Cumberland University, and we're grateful for that.
Well, I take it, and of course we know that Millard Oakley and his wife gave the largest monetary contribution, I think, ever last year to Cumberland. I take it that contributions have been coming in well.
Indeed, they have. And when you have leadership gifts like that, it causes a lot of people to say, maybe me. And as Bob would tell you, the single greatest transfer of wealth is about to happen in this country over the course of the next 20 years as baby boomers move on and pass that money along. And there are a lot of folks sitting with appreciated assets in their portfolios. What are you going to do with all that money? Well, why not make a difference in the lives of people for generations to come? And so, yes, in fact, our Courtney Wheeler, our head of advancement, and others are getting a lot of interest from folks who are interested in.
Well, that is a way you can look at that. That is an investment in the future.
It is,
without a doubt. And one of the other things that it does say here on the information Rusty gave me this morning, your executive director of community relations. I mean, that's it. You are. I'm sorry, chief financial officer, chief operating officer, but professor. So you in the classroom?
For a lot of years, I teach strategy. I teach strategy and finance. So I'm a big believer of in giving back. As a first time, I was the first time in my family to go to college, first one in my family to go to college, and so it's always been a passion of mine to try to give back. And even as much as I spend in academic administration, every chance I get to be in front of the students, that's what I want to do.
So, well, do you? Are you in the classroom? You have a class on a regular basis, or you just make an appearance?
I'm making appearances right now, but it's going to happen.
You're too busy to have a record. Would that be right, Rusty?
That's absolutely right.
We got about 3.5 minutes left. What else you want to tell us this morning? Is there something else particular on your mind?
Well, we do have a lot of events coming up, and I know Rusty's going to want to talk about those. I do want us to sort of say once again to the community to watch what happens at Cumberland.
Yeah.
Over the next, for several years, people have said, where are they going? What's their plan? I know something good's happening over there. I can feel it, but what is it? Well, stay tuned, because one of our missions is to get Dr. Stum and the leadership team out on the road in places like this, talking about the strategic plan and the vision that we have for Cumberland University for the next 5 years. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities for people to hear about that.
Well, Dr. Ron Ford, we thank you for being with us today, and we'll let Rusty have a little time here to have some closing remarks this morning.
Okay, thanks, Coleman. As he said, we've got lots of events coming up. I'm just going to mention a couple of those this morning, but I do want to, before I mention that, go back just one point. 5 years ago, we did the first economic impact study, and the impact at that point was just over about $63 million, and now it's over $115 million. So
doubled?
It nearly doubled in 5 years. So when Dr. Ford talks about doubling things, that's reality for us right now. So it's a great position to be in, but just so thankful for everyone that's involved in this process, the community, the board, the leadership team at Cumberland. We're very blessed to be where we are right now.
Yeah.
So a couple of upcoming events. This Friday, January 14th, the Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with a couple of sponsors, and Cumberland University, is holding a luncheon in Baird Chapel. This is a ticketed event. Tickets are still available. It's $35 per person, or if it's a veteran, $25. Because we're honoring, we tried to do this back in November, but the dates didn't work out, honoring those who have served in the U.S. military. So it is kind of a belated Veterans Day event.
Okay.
But we have a wonderful speaker coming, Mr. James Olson, who has written a couple of books, but his career spanned over 30 years with the CIA. And a good portion of that 30 years was spent as a espionage agent in Russia.
Oh.
He was a CIA spy, and he's going to be talking about that, and has a wonderful story to tell. So people, if they're interested in buying the tickets for that, they can contact me at Cumberland, or more importantly, contact the chamber office
Well, I'll bet,
to get those tickets.
A lot of veterans would be interested in hearing that story as well as the general public.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful story he has to tell. It's an insight into how the world actually works that people don't often get. So we're very excited to be one of the sponsors for that as well, and that's this Friday, January 14th. We've had, about 2 months ago, we had Sean and Lindsay Smith on, who are the chairs for the Phoenix Ball this year. That date is June the 4th, and we're happy to announce that tickets actually go on sale for the Phoenix Ball next Friday. So that'll be January 21st. The website will be open at that point, and people can go online and buy the tickets. And for people that come to the ball, I encourage you to go to that site quickly and buy the tickets, because we're expecting another sellout like what we had this year.
Right.
So it's a great opportunity. Our biggest black tie gala, the only black tie gala I'm aware of in Wilson County. So that's June 4th.
And when they're gone, they're gone. That's
And when they're gone, they're gone. We have absolute limit on the number of people we can fit into the facility for that event. But work is already well underway on that. ServPro of Wilson County has agreed to be the presenting sponsor again this year. So you'll be hearing more about them in the coming months and how they're supporting Cumberland. So we certainly appreciate the Isaacsons and ServPro of Wilson County for stepping up and taking that lead role in that.
right. Well, we are out of time, but But thanks for being with us today. We're not going to run you out of town.
Okay.
Because I want you to be back next month.
I'll be back next month, guaranteed.
All right. Rusty Richardson with Cumberland, along with Dr. Ron Ford this morning. Dr. Ford, appreciate your visit very much, and wish you well as you hold Dr. Stumm's hand, I guess we could say. That's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and get $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Morning, they were cleaning up some debris a few minutes ago on 24 westbound. Like you're headed towards the Jolton area, just watch out in that area as it starts to get heavy now here on 65 southbound, coming off Vietnam. That's all that traffic coming in from Sumner County, and still watch your speed, I-40 through Hickman and Dixon County this morning around 8:40. PensacolaBeach.com is everything you need to plan out your next trip to the beach. Log on today, PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Are you thinking about buying a new home? Let A.G. & Johnson assist you with your new home search. From the first-time home buyer to the empty nester, we are experienced in all facets of the home buying process. We will be with you every step of the way. No matter if you are buying, selling, downsizing, or upsizing, we can assist you with your real estate needs. Call us at 615-444-0909 or find us online at agandjohnson.com or Facebook A.G. & Johnson Realty. A.G. & Johnson is your community's trusted realty and auction company.
We're halfway through the work week, and today's forecast calls for a mix of sun and clouds with temperatures topping out in the low 50s. For Thursday, skies will be mostly cloudy with just a slight chance of rain. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday morning. We thank you for joining us, and now we want to welcome Philip Etherly to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply. It's located right here in Lebanon at 1325 West Main, and that number that you want to remember, telephone number 615-443-RENT. Philip, good morning.
Morning, Coleman.
Well, how are you after 6 inches of snow?
I'm doing great. We're like I say, we're good and busy, and that's what I like. I'm glad the snow left, and it came fast and left fast. So
that rain gets rid of it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Well, do you have snow blowers?
We do not have snow blowers, and we actually did get a few calls.
I would think it's rare you'd have much demand for those.
Like I said, when it comes 6-8 inches, we'll get a demand real quick, but it goes away pretty quick.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about today?
One of the things I was thinking about coming in this morning, during the snow, we were open. We stayed open the entire time, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And a lot of, I was listening to Bob McDonald talking about, being safe and people getting, but sometimes there's that need. We sold the world out of propane. During those 3 days, because there were a lot of people closed, and there was a lot of people, and it still amazes me, there's a lot of people who use propane for heat. And so we stayed busy. I mean, just constantly busy all 3 days selling propane. There again, I'm glad we would be able to be there. I've got some guys that live close by, have four-wheel drive, so it really wasn't kind of really a safety issue per se. A lot of the guys who went ahead and went home, the guys that live out in the country, live far out, we let them go ahead and go home. But, a couple of us stayed around the whole time. And then, like I say, it was great to be able to help those people out.
Sure. And you, of course, you're in business to make money. That helps the kitty a little bit too.
Oh, exactly.
But the service there, I mean, people really needed that.
It really does. And then we had a couple people come in. We got some space heaters and stuff like that, like I say, try to keep a place a little warmer. But so, I take great pride in that there's very few times we close and we try to always be there. And I think that consistency really helps build a good customer base.
Well, we're having a little cold weather right now, 20 degrees, maybe 30 this morning or a little above. But you've got some people need some things during this kind of weather. It
really does. This morning when I got to Absolute, there was a gentleman there waiting on a log, getting a log splitter. There was another guy getting a mini backhoe. So, there's still people able to do projects, get out and move around. And so, like I say, as long as the ground's not frozen and really hard, then you'll still have people out there trying to get their jobs completed.
Well, we keep saying it, everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers. You may not need either one of them today, but there's something down there
There's something you may need, that's right.
And that gives me an opportunity again to mention, go to your website, absoluterental.com. The entire inventory is there, right?
It is.
And the price of renting it, however you do that, is a minimum of 4 hours?
Yeah, half day, 4 to 5 hours is our minimum, and then it goes all to daily, weekly, and monthly prices on there.
And so you can have a pretty good idea of what it's going to cost you. Just going to the website and finding out maybe its availability too. If not, you call 443-RENT and find out right quick.
That's right. And we'll ask you a few questions, what you're trying to do, and we'll try to hook you up with the right piece of equipment.
Well, and that's important too. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you don't use this equipment on a regular basis, you can get unfamiliar real quick, and sometimes they change. You might have the one that's got a feature that it didn't have the last time.
Exactly, yeah. We always try to keep the most updated equipment we can.
Yeah. Well, we hope you'll keep that number in mind and keep Philip in mind. He's been here for 20 years, 20 and a half actually, and going strong and serving the community and enjoying life. And contributing to the economy with those people that you hire who depend on you for their living.
Yeah, we're very blessed. We got a good crew right now.
Anything before you go this morning?
No, just like I say, if you got any kind of project coming up, give us a call. We'll be glad to kind of make sure we can make a reservation for you, make sure it's the right piece of equipment. But we'd love to help you out.
All right. Philip Atherley, Absolute Rental and Supply, 615-443-RENT. See you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're about 22 before the hour. I have invited Jeff Luttrell, our Director of Schools for Wilson County, to be with us this morning, and he's here just chomping at the bit to talk about how great it is to be in education. Jeff, good morning. I'm pulling your leg a little bit, but it's good to see you.
Well, good morning, Coleman, and it is good to be in education. I believe that much in what we do, what our teachers do, administrators, our staff, and it is still a good time to be in education.
You had a Board of Education meeting last night, which we will talk about. But before we get to that, I know your friends, our friends over at the Special School District had to, they just shut school down because of so many people being sick, I think, especially teachers, administrators, this sort of thing. How's it been in the county?
Well, since we monitor that daily, and we're holding right now our attendance, student attendance, about 92%, and we're averaging a little over 10% in staff absences for this week. So we're holding. That's not. We were not that. Where we're at right now, we've been there before and been able to keep our schools open and staff them. So we just have to look at that on a daily basis and watch it and stay abreast of what's going on.
Well, we were speaking of the snow maybe more than once here, but no question. The right decision was made ahead of time. With they got the forecast right, and 6 inches of snow, and you didn't go anywhere if you didn't have to. But I guess you were really glad to see the rain Sunday and wash that snow away, so that we could get back to school.
Yeah, that was beautiful snow. It was beautiful. Just when you wake up and you see that and you get to look at that. But yeah, we did need to get back in school, and believe it or not, we needed that rain. We still had some areas late Saturday afternoon and early Sunday morning that still had some slick spots. So, but of course the rain did get it away, and we were able to go to school.
Well, what did you do at your meeting last night?
Well, we did have a regular monthly meeting, and just covered some policies on second reading. It seems like we're always looking at policies and making adjustments, and we took care of all that. To give a report, our ACT scores are back state level, and we dropped a little bit to 20.6, but that we were over 21 year before, but that is not a drastic drop considering what these students have been through the last 2 years, and very proud of the fact that we had a 97% participation rate, meaning we tested most of our kids in ACT, and really proud of that. So we gave a report on that. And then we looked at some other things. Probably the biggest thing is the RFP for land. We discussed that. Our engineers, we had a work session prior to the board meeting. They came in and gave us their preliminary findings on the land and looking at that. So when our board members were able to ask questions, and out of that, we did not take a vote on anything. I'm requesting that we call a special call meeting first week in February, or maybe the last week in January. We're going to look at it. I'll get Mr. Tomlinson here probably today. And at that point, I think it'll be time to bring a recommendation to the board, and let them vote on these parcels of land, see if there's any of those that they want to pursue.
I take it you're really wanting to get over this, what we call it, a hurdle, but to get this done, to go ahead and identify the parcel of land, make effort to purchase it so that you can get on with your plan.
Well, yeah, I think that's important. And one of the things that, and we're thankful for our people in our community that have placed their land up to be considered, because in this market, land availability is an issue, and we know that. So once, if they, at the board's will, they can pick a parcel or two of land to look at further, or they could say none of these meet what we're looking for, and then we'd have to start another process. But if they come out of there, I will have a recommendation, and if the board approves that, then of course we will have to go to the county commission. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of partnerships in making this happen.
I take it you identify you find somebody who's willing to sell, and this is before the negotiation over the price.
Well, the great thing about an RFP is they have to price their land.
Oh.
That's up front. And
okay.
That's one of the great aspects of it, so we know what we're dealing with. And so that's one of the good things about doing an RFP and putting it out there for a request to purchase.
Okay. Well, it's just the opposite of what I thought then. You have got the cart before the horse or whatever, but then it's up to you got to have funding.
That's correct.
And the county commission plays the leading role there.
They have, and they've been great to work with. One of the first things I took over, we identified that we are going to need to be building schools in the next couple of years here in Wilson County, and the commission has been great to work with. They charged us with, hey, go find your land and bring it back, and they're the funding body, and so they've been great to work with, and I look forward to being able to take them something, and then they will work through that to see if where the funding
not
comes
wanting
from.
to put you on the spot necessarily, but do you, your gut feeling about this is probably it, and it's going to. Do you think the commission, the board of education is going to approve, or not that you're supposed to second guess them, but I just wondered your feeling here.
We've got all of these parcels that have been put up have strengths and weaknesses, and one of the things we're looking at is, of course, is your infrastructure around it. That's important. And, this growth is happening so fast in our county. One of the infrastructure pieces that to work through is when you look at a parcel of land, where's sewer at for a school? And so some of them have, there's availability to connect to sewer existing, some of them are not. We have done this in the past using a step system. And so there's a lot of things to look at. You've got to look and consider roads, and it's hard for me to sit here and predict. My job is to bring the best information possible, and then it'll be up to everyone, because I think everyone needs to be a part of moving forward with it.
Okay, very good. Jeff Luttrell, our Director of Schools for Wilson County, is here. We're going to take a break, come back and talk more in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, they have Red Max complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. So far, so good. Just a couple of minor wrecks out here in the last hour or so in the Jolton area. 2 cars hit really hard in the 7500 block Ridgewood Road. If you know where that is, avoid that area. OHB ramp there at 65 up north. That's a minor accident. It's increasing finally here on I-40 coming in through Mount Juliet. Also picking up on 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area. PensacolaBeach.com has everything you need to plan out your next getaway. Check it out at PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. My guest is Jeff Luttrell this morning, Director of Schools for Wilson County, and I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I think you've answered the question well here this morning. It's you just got to make the best decision, and it's not a one-person thing here. You, the board, and then the county commissioner are going to come through with some hopefully some land and some money for a new school, and not just one new school. I mean, it's an ongoing thing.
It is, and our enrollments have hit. We've enrolled over 100 new students since December, so we're at 19.9 something this morning. And projections, we've already started process for next year. So we know that this growth is continuing to happen, and we've got to be prepared.
What else is? I know you're always concerned about where we are academically. You're concerned about enough teachers and having the pool there of reserves and all this. There's so much really on your plate. I know you have some good assistants to take care of the different things you're responsible for. But and I know too that there's that expression about baptism by fire or something. When you first took over and all the things that have taken, has it slowed up a little bit here lately?
I felt like it had a couple weeks ago, but now here we are at the new year, and it's all right before me. And you know, of course, student learning is the most important. And it's just been a challenge the last 2 or 3 years. You talk to anybody in this profession, they will echo the same thing. We've had a lot of challenges. Really, some things that one of my concerns is the staffing. Mm-hmm. We're just not getting the applicants. Talking to the colleges and universities, their numbers are down in their education programs. We're having some people that are leaving the profession. You know, previously in my career, if you got the second or third week of school, or you got to Labor Day, you had your staffing in place, you were going to be good. That's not the case today. We're experiencing people making decisions that, for various reasons, some of them are leaving the profession, some of them are moving to other areas. But the staffing issue is, I really think our country, our nation, and our state, we are in an area that could be crisis for teachers, getting people into the profession and retaining those teachers. So that's something that we're constantly monitoring and trying to come up with things to really take care of our current staff and keep them, because retention of our teachers, and not just teachers, but our cafeteria workers, our bus drivers, our EAs, that's a real crisis right now that we're facing.
Well, I guess in a way you've got your hands full there, then, because you've got to have enough of those to keep school going, and then on top of that, some have gotten sick recently, have to be replaced. It's not easy. Let me ask something else, and this is changing it slightly here. But Representative Clark Boyd was on and talked about the BEP and maybe some revisions that's going to be made there. I'm sure you're aware of that, and some of these lesser prominent counties may be getting a little bit more of the pie. How's that going to affect us?
Well, we don't know yet. We're monitoring that. That's another thing we're monitoring and looking at. And from my understanding, we've had some meetings and State Department's getting information to us. But they are looking at possibly a new funding formula. Now, currently, and a lot of people do not realize that the BEP, that formula has been around for 30 years. That's your basic education plan. And in round numbers, it pays for about 65% of your staff, and then the rest of that has to come from local. But in that formula, there's some areas that we have found currently to be deficient, and I want to try to explain that. The formula they use is like one nurse for, the ratios are extremely high. I think we get money for 65% for 6 nurses. Well, Wilson County has made a good decision. We have a nurse in every school. So we have to fund 200 positions, and we've chose those positions, but those are needed positions. We fund 200 positions that we don't get any state money. Our BEP formula is about 54% of our budget. The rest of that comes from local and federal, with most of it coming local. So I do understand the other side, smaller districts that do not have the ability of the tax base we have. You know, some of their BEP formulas may be 75 to 80% comes from state money. So trying to balance that, and this state's been going through that. There's been lawsuits both ways in the last 30 years. And so it's going to be interesting to see. My stance has always been, you know, when you look at where Tennessee ranks in the nation, we're in the bottom of the nation, bottom 4 or 5 states in funding per pupil expenditure. My stance is, I'm glad they're looking at it, but at some point there has to be more money in the pie. And, you know, our state has been blessed. We've done great. Our economy's really strong. There's reserves setting there. I'm hoping, and we'll tell everybody that will listen, we need more state funding. If there's not more state funding, it's just going to be more stress on the local governments. And one of the things that they look at, Coleman, is the growth we have, our tax base. We've done real well here in our county. We've had great leadership. But one of the things I think they failed to look at, there's more than schools that those county commissioners have to fund. They've got to fund roads, fire protection, police protection. So the stress is still there for them too. So I think it's a step in the right direction to look at it, and it will be interesting to see where this comes out. I think there possibly could be some legislation in this session, and we'll just have to see where that takes us.
But if it could be found a way to just have a bigger pot of money here devoted to education, what's that saying? The rising tide raises all ships. Everybody could benefit then.
Yes, I think so. And, these are real needs. And it's just going to be interesting. It's a complicated issue. Everybody's got their valid points. Yeah. And at some point, we've got to be able to get everybody in the room. And I think we can. I think our leadership's good enough that we can come up with a plan to better fund our schools.
Let me get back to last night's meeting. We just sit here and talk, and that's great. I love to sit and have a nice conversation with somebody. But was there anything else from last night's meeting we need to talk about?
No, not really. I don't think. We're continuously monitoring the COVID, and we're following the recommendation of Tennessee Department of Health. They've updated theirs. The isolation period is down to 5 days with some stipulations. And so we'll be getting a message out today to our families to communicate that. One thing that has come up, and I mentioned it last night, one of the things we're learning out of this pandemic is the mental health stress on students and staff, and we've got to take that into account because that's real. And we really, our kids have been through a lot, and our faculty and staff, and I know everybody has, but when you're talking about our young people, this is crucial time. They've dealt with this for 2 years, and we're going into year 3. So we're trying to look at that and see if there's things we can do to promote well-being of a child, and that's very, very important.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a busy guy, and I don't know how much time you have to maybe watch sports on TV or that sort of thing. But with all that's happening in pro football right now, and with the big championship game Monday night, you get to see any of that?
I do. I try to. I didn't watch the first half of the championship game. I was busy doing some work, and I took my computer and watched a little bit of it, and ended up going to bed when they kind of broke away there on that last touchdown. But I'd still enjoy sports, and it's going to be interesting to see that this playoffs the Titans if they continue their run.
Yeah, it really is. Well, do you get to go and actually? I guess part of being director of schools, they expect you to put in an appearance every once in a while at some of these sporting events.
I do try to. It's becoming harder as we're growing to get to everybody. Last night that's a basketball night, Tuesday night, and I was at a board meeting. But I do try to get around, see our teams, and basketball is an interesting sport because it all comes down to that district tournament and being able to advance, and that's when I get a little more interested in watching our teams.
And that'll be here before you know it. Right
will.
Now we're almost to the middle of January. I guess 3 more weeks we'll be in tournament time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we've got some good things going here. I know both Lebanon teams have been doing fairly well. And, in fact, the boys, after they lost their first game, came out of the gate, won, 14 in a row?
I think they've got a very talented team. And it's always interesting to watch these teams. And it's a long season. Basketball is a long season. And to watch them improve, to watch them gel, because there's nothing more exciting for a community when you have teams advanced in region and possibly sub-state and state. That's fun stuff. And that's a big part of high school. And we've got a lot of teams vying for that. I think Green Hill's got another good team down there, my understanding. So it'll be interesting to watch this play out next month.
Well, as principal at Watertown, you got to enjoy, and probably enjoy it more than you do do now, but you were just mainly looking at one school then, several teams, but all at Watertown. It's a little different now.
It is, and I root for all of them. We want all of our teams to do well, and that is, I'm a former coach, so that's been a big part of my life. But I don't have the availability of time. Most of the time, I'm working on other things.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one other thing here, and this is kind of serious in a way. We have missed some school, but you got to get 180 days or whatever. So many days you're supposed to get in, and how are we there?
We do. That's a requirement, 180 student days, and we go extra above the state requirement and build stockpile days. And we can use those stockpile days for inclement weather and PD and some various things. And in our calendar this year, we had 12 stockpile days that we could be used for that. We used 5 back in the fall. We did a similar thing to what Mr. Benson and his team had to do in shutting their schools. So we used 5 of them there. And we're getting some clarification on the Monday, the first day back. That was not a student day. That was an admin day. So we know we've got 4, possibly 5 days, and we'll get clarification on that. And just watch and see what this weather does the remaining part of this month.
So if we don't have too many snow days, we'll be okay.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, thanks for being with us this morning. We always enjoy your visit, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Coleman.
Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools for Wilson County. That's it for a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday, isn't it? Join us tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day.